Jazz age living, whole fashion sipping, pizzazz ain't missing. Got the
I do want to wrap up the Gainesville thing before we move on. The game last night. What was that? I mean, the offense was amazing. Of course, Trask had his couple issues. I mean, he always has a few, like,
couple hiccups.
Dude, come on. Like, don't fumble the ball. But if you score, what was it? How many? 43, 46?
46 points.
46.
408 yards passing, 46
points. Dude, you got to win a football game if you're going to score 46 points. 52 to give up 52.
This brings up one of the philosophical questions we were discussing. Can you have both an incredible offense and incredible defense at the same time?
Apparently not.
Because I would say that Alabama giving up 46 points.
Sure.
Doesn't have
they're not a great defense either, unless Trask is
and
just
they're number one
so
in the country.
good that, unless Trask is just so good that he made him look. Although they gave up a lot of points earlier in the year. I forget.
I think
who's the best player on Florida, you think?
Kyle Pitts.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, easily.
Who was kind of an undershow yesterday.
Yeah.
But they were focusing so much on him that he freed up so much room for Tony that it was just
I think
like,
Tony's going to be like a Percy Harvin / Reggie Bush in the NFL.
Yeah. You get a couple more pounds on that guy?
Yeah. Hopefully without the headaches.
Percy Harvin.
Yeah. I mean, he was awesome, but he had some issues. Percy Harvin was the one who told me in a Gainesville bar that Brett Favre was coming back. I asked him straight up.
Percy Harvin.
Yeah, he was on the Vikings at the time.
Wow. That's pretty cool.
I said, hey, who's going to be the quarterback? And he's like, Brett Favre's coming back.
Wow.
Really?
I should have broke it. God, if we had this podcast at the time.
We have it from an inside source.
I would just be Percy, the title of the video. Percy Harvin says, no, that's too long. Brett Favre, Viking.
Brett Favre, Viking.
Question mark? You got to get that clickbait. Question mark? I don't know. You should probably watch.
Maybe.
Like and subscribe.
Speaking to that offense question, isn't it weird how like 10 years ago, it's like Oklahoma, Texas Tech, just like this air raid offense. And we'd like say, oh, their offense is so good because the defense is so bad. And now the SEC is kind of turning into that with like just stellar quarterbacks.
That's a great point.
Because you think about quarterback 10 years in the SEC, it's like A.J. McCarron. He was practical, I'd say, not
he's
good.
okay. Yeah.
I mean, that was what the SEC quarterbacks used to be. And now you got Trask. And,
now you have quarterbacks throwing
Jones.
40 touchdowns in a season.
Yeah.
And
Joe Burrow
in an abbreviated season with COVID at that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, what's the
That's a
deal?
great
What's
point.
happening? Like, why it seems like suddenly they're all terrible at defense. Is it just because of practice? You need to practice all that? Like, it didn't look like they knew how to tackle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, they're just
especially
trucking
the
their
Gators.
bodies out there.
They made that running back look like he was the best thing that's ever
Najee.
walked the earth.
Yeah, I mean, he is pretty good, but
Good. And is it that offenses are so much better, defenses are so much worse? And we also got to keep in mind, I mean, these guys are really under the gun now. Like, they have to tackle a certain way. If they don't, if it's targeting, then they're ejected, and then it's a 15-yard penalty. You know, we've put a lot of new rules in place with respect to the defense over the last 5-10 years that we're just so much more picky on what they can and can't do.
It's harder to learn the position of wide receiver or like a cornerback or safety.
cornerback, definitely.
So that's probably why it's easier to be good at offense in college, at least, because it takes longer to be good at it.
Yeah, the different schemes, because as the receiver, you have your route, couple permutations, but you don't really have to know everybody else's. That's like the safety
and
or
you
corner,
know what you're doing.
and you know what you're doing.
The cornerback doesn't know what's coming.
You're always a half step behind.
And the receiver can kind of push off, and everyone like turns, blind eye. But if the cornerback does anything, then it's 15-yard penalty.
Big scoring games get ratings. They get action,
100%.
and the big plays downfield that are called pass interferences or holdings that moves the ball down the field. That gets points.
Would you rather have? I mean, I don't even. I was watching the game last night, and I was like, would I rather have a great defense and just a bad offense? But then it's like, at least what I'm watching is like exciting. Like I know, like, oh, we can score a touchdown right now easily. Whereas, like,
Or
if
throw
we
an
had
interception.
we're throwing an interception. What was that? When we intercepted the ball, and then keep your head on a swivel, dude.
I think that game came down to like 3 plays, and one of them was that one.
Yeah.
And then because they like scored a touchdown right after that, and the other 2 were the pass interferences on that wheel route, where
it's like the third
Alabama
quarter or the fourth.
pretty much like held the running back or whoever it was. and it could have been a touchdown on those 2 plays.
Yeah.
So
And
it could have gone a different way.
before the half, scoring with a minute 20.
That was
Yeah,
and then
that was
huge. So
huge.
obvious.
But to
Terrible
be-
clock
But
management.
to be honest, it's like after that, I was like, well, they're definitely going to get a field goal, but like they shouldn't allow a touchdown right now.
100%.
And it's like, dude, a minute, and then like it was so easy. It was like not hard at all. You just march down the field, and Alabama's going to easily win the national championship.
And
Easily.
What about Clemson?
No. Easily beat Clemson. They're going to play Ohio State first. I'm predicting Ohio State gets in at 4. Let's let them in. They played 6 games.
What about A&M?
And one was Northwestern.
What about Jimbo
Fantastic.
Fisher and A&M?
Yeah, good old Jimbo.
What about Jimbo?
I just don't think they'll give it to them. I would love it if they got in. Who's it? Okay, so Alabama, Clemson. You could kick out Notre Dame, so you could have Ohio State and Texas A&M. The guy last night, the announcer said, "Oh, you got to think Notre Dame's in." I'm like, "Why?"
No, you don't.
They got killed.
Yeah, absolutely destroyed.
Hopefully,
And the big game they won was when Trevor Lawrence was not playing,
Exactly.
and they barely won.
Yeah. Hopefully Notre Dame officially joins the ACC next year. What do you think?
I would because then they would actually have to
Do something?
do something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Play some real teams.
I hate Notre Dame.
But I think you probably hate them partially because they're independent and they always like finagle their way into the
Yeah, that's exactly why I
conversation.
hate them. It's like you never play anyone. You're living on this aura from like back in the day that like somehow still gets ratings, and it's like every time you get a shot to play a team, you get crushed. I mean, remember
unless
when they
there's
played
some-
Alabama like what was that 8 years ago or something? And they got beat like 50-0. That was Manti Te'o year.
Well, his girlfriend was distracted.